today's DIY is how to build this toy box. We built it for baby Jack because his toy box was falling apart and completely broken, and with Christmas coming he needed a new way to organize his toys.
Getting set up to do the build. I've just got a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood here. I think it was about $17 at Home Depot. I'm making this toy box 36 inches by 36 inches, mostly for the ease of use on building it. That's easy, 3 feet square to remember, and makes it easy to mark out. This section here is already 12 inches, which is what I want. It's already measured pretty much to 36 inches, so I'm just going to continue that cut right there. And this will be one of my sides. I'm going to cut another section just like this, and then I'm going to do a little more trimming on it, and I'll show you what I'm doing with that. I've got the 2 sides and the front piece cut out. They're 36 by 12 inches. Now I'm just going to measure up from the bottom 1 foot, because that's where I'm going to put my box on the bottom. And then up here there's going to be another shelf and then the top. But I want to angle this back, and I'm going to show you how I do that real fast. Okay, so that's the 1 foot mark. And I want a 9-inch shelf up on the top here to stack books and things or whatever. So I've got that mark. Just take the straight edge from this corner here to that corner there, and I will cut that line on 2 of these, and then this is going to be the front on the bottom. Alright, most of the boards are cut out. So this is the bottom and the back. And this bottom is 1 foot by 3 feet. And you can kind of see I've got a bow in my plywood there. I'm just going to nail this top in with this 18 gauge nail. You could also use screws, or even a nail and regular hammer would work. I'm going to line my bottom up here. Make sure it's straight. And this plywood straightens out pretty easy. It's pretty nice to work with. So put another one in there. This is still the bottom. I've just flipped it over so that I can make sure I get this lined up. And I'm going to close that gap with my hand here and just nail that in. Okay, now that the bottom and the back is together, this is one of the sides that I put that angle on. And I'm just going to square it up right here while I've got this out here like this, and staple it on as well. Alright, now I've made a huge sled and I'm going to go play in the snow. But really, I'm just going to put the bottom on here. Okay, this is a 36 by 9-inch piece that we're going to staple on the top here. Inside the box, I'm going to be putting a shelf, and it's essentially going to be 2 feet high. So I'm just marking the reference point where I'm going to put the shelf supports at 2 feet. Now that I know where 2 feet's at, I can see how deep my angle is here. It's 9.5 inches, and that's how wide I'll cut my shelf. 9.5 by 36. So this here is just a scrap piece of cedar that I had laying around. You can use any scrap of wood really, or piece of the plywood that I've been cutting on would work great. I'm running out of plywood, so I cut this against the grain. Normally I would try to make everything go with the grain, it's stronger like that, but I want to do this all out of one piece of plywood just because I can. And so to support this so that it doesn't have that funky bow in it, I've got this scrap piece of cedar that I've cut down. And I'm just going to add this right here and staple it, and then that'll hold real nice and just work perfect. So I'm gonna put some dividers in here, and my gap here has ended up being about 10 3/4 of an inch because I have added this shelf on top of the 24-inch mark. So it's not quite a full 12 inches here. But I'm gonna put 2 dividers in there, and I'm gonna cut those to size 10.5 inches by 9 inches. I'm not gonna do the half inch, it's just gonna come straight down. And then I'm gonna just install those with the staple gun. To place the dividers, I'm just going to measure right here. This is going to be my center mark at 12 inches. And I'll do the same from this side. So I decided to go and just put a 15-degree angle cut here. And I'll show you how I did that on the miter saw. So I just found my marks where I've got it, where I want it to go. And I marked right here at the edge of this top. And that's where I'm going to cut my angle from at 15 degrees. So I've got these marked where I want them to go. To make sure they're straight up and down, I'm going to use my speed square and staple it in. Okay, now that the basic construction of the toy box is done, I've got a couple of knots that fell out of this cheap plywood. I'm just going to take some lightweight spackling paste and fill those in, and then when I sand the rest of this, they'll be smooth and you won't even notice because we're going to paint this. I could be done where the toy box is at now, but I've got some scrap cedar. This is just fencing, and it's pretty nice building material. If you sand it down, it actually gets really smooth. And it's like $1.60 for one of these 6-foot lengths. And I'm just gonna cut it at a 45. We're gonna miter the ends. So this is the side of the box. I'm gonna put that miter cut right here on the front and make sure it's flush. Rather than measuring, if I can mark it where I want the cut, it's always better and you'll always get a better fit than if you measure. So I'm gonna use that same cedar to plank the top, and I'm just getting it flush here. You can feel with my hand. And then I'll mark the cut. So this is the back here, and these aren't attached yet, but this cedar is hanging over about 1.5 inches. So I'm just gonna mark it, and then I'll take it over to the table saw and cut it. You could use your circular saw to do the same thing. This is just a 2.5 by 36 little retainer that I'm going to put on the front of the shelf here, and that'll help hold the toys in.
Alright guys, I've got this all built. It looks exactly like my Pinterest inspiration. I'm going to go ahead and paint it Gunmetal, which is a dark gray. It's a fairy chalk mother paint that you can buy at JamiRayVintage.com. I'm going to be painting it with my paint sprayer. If you'd like to know about painting chalk paint, be sure to click the link below for how to spray chalk paint. Thanks for watching today's DIY. I hope it inspires you to make something for your kids this Christmas season. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more DIY.